And welcome to Psychos and Sociopaths. Today we're going to go over, you say the name because I am horrible with names. We all know this already.
Che Guevara.
Che Guevara. It's sad that I keep on talking about him, and we are sporting our shirts for it. And I'm so horrible in names that I can't even get. How many times have you had to actually say the names because I couldn't get it? Because my dyslexia just hits up hardcore. I'm just glad I got an extra host that can actually say names.
Well, you know,
Half the time it makes me feel like an idiot savant. It really does. Because
I'm good with attack, but names are bad. Yeah,
exactly.
Bad. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I end up having. Because I'll end up even up at work. I'm like, hey, I need some conduit. That's not conduit. That's wire duct.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that is? That's what I need.
Bring that in.
I'm more caveman point and grunt.
Right. Yeah.
But anyways, back on topic, is this guy was, it's kind of a toss-up. In the beginning and everything, I mean, he wanted to do the right thing. Yeah, and his main thing that he actually did was United Fruit.
Yeah, he was an eventual. There was a CIA-assisted overthrow at the urging of the United Fruit Company.
Yeah,
it solidified Guevara's political ideology. He met with Raul and Fidel Castro and joined their 26th of July movement. Sailed to Cuba aboard a yacht, of all things. And with the intention of overthrowing the U.S.-backed Cuban dictator, Batista.
Yeah.
He was basically an insurgent. He was a guerrilla fighter. He had very little tolerance for things that were considered, alternate lifestyle at the time, or even up until just a few years ago.
Basically, what you're saying is
he was a racist. He was a racist.
Yeah.
He was a homophobe.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was a straight up fascist. And and it's kind of funny because we see his name plastered all over, and even his likeness plastered all over T-shirts, posters. Ours, he's got a bullet hole in his forehead because he's a socialist.
Yeah.
But his likeness is kind of like a come and take it flag for the left.
Yeah.
And a lot of their their vocal groups, like the LGBTQ plus ABCD, whatever.
Yeah, the real reason why I actually made this shirt was because I had a friend of mine that he is homosexual, and he wore his shirt and everything. I mean, Dr. Dre wore the shirt too, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. That's a cool shirt." I was like, "Dude, you're gay." He's like, "Yeah, and I can't wear the shirt." He killed a bunch of your people.
What do you mean?
You do realize it's like, what? What are you talking about? This is for like revolution and everything. No, dude.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Not that kind of revolution, there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, he did build schools and everything, but when it came down to it,
well, he built schools, he built infrastructure, and I mean, he did the things that he did.
And it was more political.
It was a political statement, and he did it for the purpose of indoctrinating the youth of Cuba.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It is the same thing that what Hitler did in the beginning of Nazi Germany. Is if you control the information, couple of things to overthrow a country: you control the information, you control the economics, and you control the media. You control the truth, which a lot of people right now, and this was brought to my attention of another way of thinking of the media. Nowadays, the media isn't the media. It's more or less like
it's a mouthpiece.
It's
see the media in its truest sense for me is
it's more entertainment.
Yeah, well, see for me the media, excuse me, the media in this country is dead. I mean, it has been for a while.
Well, it's a different. You have to try to find the different.
Well, we say media, and then you're going to find somebody who listens to this podcast. They're going to watch us on YouTube or whatever. Any of us, and here's our shameless plug. Any of our followers that follow us either on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple podcast service, or Patreon once that gets up and going.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, well, media can be defined as A, B, and C. All right, well, let's just break that down a little bit further for you there, Nancy. If you control the news outlets in the country, you can control whatever narrative. Because, again, just like what he attempted to do, what Hitler did through Goebbels, they controlled what information was released. And if it didn't fit the narrative, yes, Goebbels was the information officer for the Nazi Party.
That was actually the name?
Goebbels, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Not to be confused
now, I'm trying to look
the
at
gerbils that he probably had.
We did an episode. We did an episode with what was his name? Richard. God, the guy.
The Dr. Death from Auschwitz. Yeah.
No, the guy. I don't know if I did it or not. That's why I'm looking up this. It was Richard something, and basically, no, I did do it, but it ended up being heavily edited to where I couldn't use it, so I chunked it. But the guy that saved all those lives from that Atlanta Olympic game.
Oh,
I'm trying to find it. I know it's Richard something. And
dadgummit.
Yeah, I'm there right now. I'm just trying to. There you go. I have to look up Clint Eastwood because he did a movie of it. And this guy was legitimately a hero, but what happened was the media.
Yeah, the media turned on him.
Found out
Richard Jewell. That's what
Richard Jewell. Yes, yeah. Yes. I wanted to do one over him. Because that just goes to show of how much, and everybody's like, oh, the media now. No, the media has been doing this for several decades.
Yeah, the media, they find themselves
Centuries,
a scapegoat.
Really.
Yeah, they find themselves a patsy. They find somebody that they can dump the information on, and they go with it. And I think a lot of it is because there's that trend of lazy reporting. That is more something that originates in this country because of the freedom of the press, as opposed to the, European countries, even in England to an extent. Specifically speaking towards like the BBC writers, they everything's got to be okayed before it gets on, before it goes on the air.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of people. It's like, oh, Canada has free speech. It's like, no, they don't.
No, they don't. The only really free newspaper that I think, as far as like reporting the actual facts, that still remains in the world today is the Jerusalem Times.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if you get the English version of the Jerusalem Times online, they are unabashedly unbiased. They report it, whether it be pro ruling party or not. It does not matter. They do not care, because it is about the facts. I mean, that is the last.
Well,
to be honest, I think it's going to become the standard for which the news media around the world is going to have to start setting itself against.
Well, you also got to look at it as being Jews themselves and having to go through Nazi Germany. That's probably the reason why.
Well, I mean, ever since the United Nations recognized the country of Israel, they've been catching all kinds of hell. Whether it be through the 6-Day War, what have you. It doesn't matter. Now they're dealing with all the Palestinians again on the West Bank, Gaza Strip. and it's just, yeah, say what you want about Donald Trump. The guy absolutely brokered peace in that region for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
But as soon as Biden came in and he realized, everybody realized this guy's just nothing more than a dementia patient on borrowed time. They're not going to talk to Kamala Harris because she's a woman, and well, it's the Middle East, so they're going to apply Sharia law whenever they talk to her, just like they were going to do with Hillary Clinton. They were going to be like, oh, Miss Benghazi's in the White House. No, we're not going to talk to her, because she's just going to turn a blind eye anyway. But getting back to Che Guevara, he helped control the message for the Castros.
And he was actually really good at military tactics too.
He was good at what he did. However, the things that he did while he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah, it was basically genocide.
Yeah, he was committing genocide. He was very bigoted, very racially driven. As it related to like Cuba for Cubans, things of that nature. He ended up getting himself killed. And
I don't know about getting himself killed, man. I don't know what happened with him. You act like that the U.S. government black bagged his face and just went out and just killed him and chopped off his head. Or was that what? Oh, yeah, that was actually what happened to him.
Well, because officially we can't sanction assassinations.
Oh, that shit just really happened. They literally said, I was like, CIA did it.
Yeah, but
what was funny about that though is the way they got him captured is a guerrilla group came in and told the CIA or the United States where he was located. They captured him. They let the USA take care of it.
Yeah, he was one of these just stereotypical guys that just got radicalized from a very young age because he lived in poverty. He was hungry all the time. Didn't have a lot of money. And somebody come along and said, hey, socialism is the way to go if you want to straight get rich. Because the problem with socialism is that eventually you're going to run out of other people's money. And the people that are in power are going to eventually lose that power. Case in point, I think both of the Castros are dead now. Actually, I think the younger brother's still alive, right? I know Fidel's dead.
Fidel's definitely dead.
Yeah. And see, how different would it have been, just to kind of put a little sports spin on this, but how different would Cuba have turned out? And how different would the relations or the political climate in the Caribbean would that be if Fidel Castro had been allowed to defect to the United States to play Major League Baseball?
Yeah. That'd be... That's one of those... It was the same thing of what if Adolf Hitler actually became a prominent artist.
Well, there was also a British sniper in World War I that missed Adolf Hitler's head by about, 6 inches and instead hit the guy next to him. So,
Yeah, it's...
way to go.
His brother, Raul.
Yeah, I think Raul's still alive, but
yeah.
Raul's... I don't think he was nearly as ruthless as Fidel was. But I think that the paradigm, at least in our hemisphere, and the Cuban Missile Crisis definitely probably would have never happened had Fidel been allowed to play baseball in the United States. Because apparently he had a pretty good fastball. Loved the game. Loved to pitch. And he was a pitcher. But they were not desegregating at that time. And he was just based on his ethnicity, was not allowed to play baseball.
Yeah, that's actually really sad on that. We could have just ended up stopping a lot of the stuff that happened in the 60s because of just let them play ball.
See, this is why we're not racist, kids, and this is why baseball has not only a prominent place in American history, but world history as well. So, there you go. The more you know.
Here's another... Is Cuba still communist, right?
Yeah, they're still communist.
Are they?
We had embargoes against them where we couldn't travel to them. To an extent, I think we still can't do any kind of like business with them.
No. Well, I think they cut the sanctions, the tariffs.
Yeah, but you still can't get a good, real, honest to God Cuban cigar in the United States unless you know somebody.
Or have you been to Kuwait? Or if you, well, yeah, you'd still have to know somebody. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. But what really got me on this, and why I really don't like this guy, is the basic fact of how many people he's actually killed. Just because he was trying to do like any kind of ruthless warlord, and that's what he was. He was a
Yeah.
ruthless warlord. Any ruthless warlord, when they're actually trying to assert some kind of ideals on everybody,
Yeah.
they have to crack a couple of heads. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, oh, no, no, they're peaceful. It's like, no,
Yeah. No. No.
no. And a lot of people think of him as a revolutionary.
He was a revolutionary. No, he was not.
No.
He was just a guerrilla fighter. He took the opportunity to take out his angst and anger on political opponents, innocent people.
And it's like the first thing they did because of socialism, wanting socialism.
Hmm.
It was 233,000 acres from the United Fruit Company.
Hmm.
And what it ended up happening is the way he wanted it is, oh, we have to give it to the peasants. We have to give it back to the peasants. These people can't be capitalists and control all this land.
Right.
And these people were actually using the land to get jobs to the people that, I mean, a lot of people don't understand how businesses actually work and everything. They work at a place, but they don't understand how to
Yeah,
work.
even communist Red China.
They went to capitalism.
They practice capitalism on a daily basis, but
And that just happened recently, like in 2015.
Well, they went to more of a free market model back in 2015, but they've been practicing capitalism for a very long time.
Yeah.
With with all of the sweatshops that are over there and all of the trinkets and cheap electronics that we've been able to enjoy.
You forgot the enslavement camps, too.
Oh well, yeah. Your political re-education camps, where
they're
your
slave
dissidents,
camps.
your dissidents go to disappear,
Yeah.
if they don't learn the party line. But
Well, actually, it's mostly Muslims now. That was another thing I had it talking about to somebody. Is like, oh, Chinese sucks because they created this virus. And I was like, no, you have no idea. Most of their medical stuff it's back to basic Nazi Germany, where they use a lot of people that are from the Muslim religion or community and everything, and they literally use them as guinea pigs.
yeah, they do.
And the reason why they do it is because they think that we weren't going to stop them or anything, which it's just one of those things. It's just
Well, when you've got
upsets me so
when
much.
you've got a 1 billion man standing army,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can't torch the planet by nuking an entire region of their country in hopes that we hit most of their military. But if everybody in America was sniper qualified, we would have exactly 1 round for every 3 Chinese soldiers.
Yeah, I know. And the way I don't even want to talk. We'll talk about it real quick. But the way that a lot of our soldiers are being not treated of it's just acting,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people that I was talking to that was actually TDY here for the training and everything, whatever they're training for,
Yeah.
are literally saying it's like, man, anytime they actually go in and are bumped, it's like, hey, you need to wake up. Oh, they're hazing me. and the teacher gets reprimanded for it.
Yeah, I know one of the instructors out there, and he was he had just recently been reprimanded because all it takes is, like a female student, for example, to have a bad day or not like something that the teacher did. Oh well, he sexually harassed me. And it's so hard to disprove a negative. It's like calling somebody a racist on a national stage. And then that person has to spend all this time, effort, and resources to prove that they're not what they've been accused of. And it's just, I don't know. Anyways.
Oh, she took it down.
What?
I was looking at Miranda and say her last name, Lucienne.
You mean Maria?
Maria.
Our super fan? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see on our Facebook page that I turned on the top fans badges?
Oh, did you?
Yes, I turned that on. Yeah, I turned that on. So, one of us will have to go in there at least at some point today and give her the little top fan badge, so that way she can comment and display it and be all proud. Look at her.
Nah, she's awesome.
Yeah, no. I say that all tongue in cheek. She knows. I mean, she's good with the show, so it's all good.
Yeah. She messaged us.
Well, because she was in town the couple days ago.
I guess so.
Yeah, and so the morning that she left, I met with her at Jimmy's Egg. We had breakfast.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, hey, the new Nerd Sports episode dropped. She immediately got defensive. She was like, no, I listened to that or watched that while I'm on the road. Don't. And I was like, okay, fine.
Well, I understand that because I save up like a bunch of episodes, so when I go to work, I can concentrate on that and listen to it and everything like that.
So you're critiquing?
No. I don't listen to ours.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say because dude, I will skim through ours. If I remember, I'll remember. No, I remember the filming. And I'm like, okay, well, there's this little area. I kind of tuck these little mental notes into the back of my head because I'm like, I need to work on my presentation. I need to work on this, that, and the other. So it's because we're constantly trying to get better as a production. So
yeah,
I'll fast forward to that timestamp, and I'm like, oh, okay, and then I'll keep going. But I don't sit there and just listen because honestly, I cannot stand the sound of my voice.
Yeah, I'm the same way because I mentioned this to one of my high school friends I met at the con this weekend. I was like, I don't know why, but when I talk through my nose, and I don't know why I do that.
Yeah,
and it's just.
Well, see, when I lived in Nashville after I got out of the Army, it was like, okay, so you really and I had actually done a couple of things in a recording studio, so you learn to breathe out of your mouth whenever you're speaking or singing or whatever, because when you sing out of your nose, because the trick is to where you could pinch your nose, and if you're talking nasally just like that, then your voice is going to change. But then if you don't, if everything is being expelled through your mouth, then the pitch doesn't change, and you can really work on that projection at that point. And it allows me to do things like work on my inner Mike Rowe, where I'm just like, Guevara remains both a revered and reviled historical figure, polarized in the collective imagination in a multitude of biographies. And just kind of get that nice flow, because I'll keep reaching it till the day we shut down shop. Mike Rowe's, the way I heard it, is an amazing podcast, man. I'm telling you. But anyways,
we're not going to close up shop, but we'll do this in a freaking.
See, I was alliterating that just to help drive home the point.
I know. But in all reality, you could go in and look and I stressed, go actually look at some of the stuff. And you have to look at it at a view like this. They were actually trying to praise him. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, he did this. Like I said, with the schools and everything like that. I was like, this is the reason why he did it. And it's like, no. He did it because he wants to save people from poverty. And everybody looks at socialism as as a demographic of this. I was like, dude, you know how hard it is to have a new car in Cuba?
Yeah, when they finally open Cuba up, you know how many classic car collectors are going to hoard that island?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I mean, they're going to come over there with Escalades.
Yeah, but a lot of
and they're going to be like, hey, you know what? I've got this 1975 box, step side Silverado or custom deluxe, and they're going to be offering these workers that are out there driving around in these 57, 58, 59 Chevys, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I want, and then they're going to do a straight trade, and you're going to see all these classic cars coming back into the country. Bodywork's going to be immaculate because it has to be. The only thing that they're going to do is they're going to rip those engines out, transmissions, and they're going to rebuild them from the ground up. And you're going to see a flood of classic cars hitting the market.
That was another thing I just thought of. Is just how many of those cars are just put together with baling wire and
bubble gum, yeah.
And hope. Don't forget hope.
Yeah.
That's the only hope they have.
Now, here's a hot take. Okay, so Guevara's body is resting at the Che Guevara mausoleum in Santa Clara, Cuba. Okay. The big,
just the bottom part.
Yeah. Now, right. So,
if you get that joke, you did your history lesson.
So, the big trend in history and society on the global scale is to take down statues and try to whitewash history, to erase the things that we don't want to remember and just flat out not teach it. When they open up Cuba, when Cuba finally embraces a democratic republic style, democracy or style of government, I think that they need to leave that there. If anything else, not necessarily memorialize it, but put a historical marker there. Just that way people know, hey, this is who's buried here. This is the
reason why we have the freedom we have today.
Yeah. We have the freedom, we have the freedoms that we do today because people like him
took him away.
Well, now, no, with the way that speech was going, is it made it sound like Che Guevara was responsible for the freedoms that Cuba has now, and that's not what I was going with. But, just like, we in some areas we still have Confederate statues up, and that's fine, because we need to learn from that. We need to know, hey, this is not necessarily the most proud moment in our nation's history, but it's still something that we need to be aware of.
Yeah.
And this is, we need to learn from it so that way we don't repeat it. And that's where I was going with it. We need to leave his, memorial up. We need to leave the mausoleum where he's resting. We need to leave that up because the people of Cuba need to understand. Now
the people of Cuba, honestly, because of the people that actually...
Yeah, the people in Cuba aren't going to have a problem remembering it. But it's the people that are going to be visiting Cuba, the people that are going to relocate to Cuba, because now all of a sudden it's going to open back up and it's going to look like it did in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you're going to have people that are going to be relocating to that island. You're going to have a lot of Americans that are going to expatriate, and they're going to relocate and move to that island in hopes of getting in on the ground floor and striking it rich, whether it be through casinos, industry, what have you. It doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is that foreign nationals are going to be moving into that island. And you're going to get a lot of differing opinions on how a government should be run. Places like his mausoleum in Santa Clara need to stay up instead of being torn down, because those are lessons from history that need to be learned so that way we don't repeat them.
I'm trying to find her name. Oh, yeah. Let me do it that way. But... yeah, when I went to Totally Archer Challenge, became friends with let me find her name so I can get it right. 'Cause she's actually a cool person, so is her husband. Me and him were laughing because we were doing the whole Blazing Saddle stuff. Rose Milton. She, very nice lady. Her and her husband were very nice. But her dad was a political prisoner in Cuba.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was talking to me as a second generation United States citizen, and because of what happened to her and her family and everything, she basically wanted to come on the show, and she hasn't gotten back with me, but love her to death. Even for the short moment. I mean, we hung out most of the time at the BRCC charity event, and we're chucking it up. We were having a fun time and everything. She's a great, wonderful person. So is her husband, Danny Milton, and we were actually making fun of because Cuban Spanish compared to Mexican Spanish is totally different.
Yeah, it's more of a Spanish.
And no, it's not because of that. It's because of how fast they speak it.
Right, yeah.
Because Danny's Mexican.
Right.
And he understands Spanish. He understands Mexican American Spanish. And he's like, man, the first time I went to go visit her family, I was trying to keep up. I was like, you don't understand Spanish? It's like, no, I understand Spanish perfectly well. I'm fluent in it.
Yeah.
But their kind of Spanish is on a whole new level.
Okay,
I mean, you have to like almost speed read that shit.
And it made me think of this story. My girlfriend Mindy, her sister Misty, had gone on vacation to Ireland with another girlfriend of hers, and they're sitting in one of the mini pubs that dot the landscape over there. And this guy comes up, and if I remember the story correctly, the guy walks up to them and looks at her and goes, "You lost to speak so fast." And she's like, "What?" Because, down here in Texas, I don't think we talk real fast.
Real Texans don't talk so
Yeah.
Country Texans don't talk so
Yeah,
fast.
country Texans don't. I mean, you get those transplants that come in and live in the city areas.
Yeah.
Or you get these hot messes, these dumpster fires that live in towns like Wichita Falls, and they'll sit there and make the images on, it sounds like Boonhauer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones that speak fast, but it's like, but they stick to their own sides of town because it's like, all right, fine, you speak your dialect. We're gonna speak Texan. But it made me think of that because it was like everybody's speaking English, but it's like we've got Texan English, and they've got the King's English, or the Queen's English. Well, it's the King's English. And it was just funny because this gentleman, this bloke from Ireland, comes over at her. He's like, "You lost to speak incredibly fast," And she's sitting there telling the story, and the look on her face is like, "What? No, we don't. Do we? No." And it's just, I thought it was hilarious. It made me think of that. So. Yeah. So now after we leave the studio today, I get to text or call my girlfriend and be like, "Hey, yeah, I gave your sister a shout out on the show today." So.
Yeah, we're all about that shout out because we need you people to start watching us.
And contrary to what I had stated last week, yes, that story was all about the clout. So it's whatever.
Yeah. But getting we're basically done with this because the only other notable thing was, like I was saying, his military tactics because of his military tactics, they really messed us up for the Bay of Pigs.
Yeah, that was one of the battles that Che Guevara that was one of the battles that he took place in, or he had a part in, because he was part of the Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces, the National Liberation Army of Bolivia.
That's what killed him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the NLA, they really kind of no, when the spooks start coming down, we don't want none of that, So yeah, here you go.
This guy just shot out of nowhere, and he just told us to kill you. So we did because he scared the shit out of us.
Right. His gun was not necessarily bigger, but he is a better shot, and yeah. We not like him. But yeah, he was part of the Cuban Revolution, the Bay of Pigs invasion. The proposed Bay of Pigs.
The Professional. The first scene in The Professional, the guy just shows up with a knife, puts it underneath his hand, puts a phone in. Probably what happened.
That's probably closer to what happened. It's like,
in my head, that's what's going on.
Here comes Che Guevara, bebopping down the jungle trail. He's like, "Do you want to cut down a banana tree?" And and then here comes the the NLA. No. As a matter of fact.
This is what's gonna happen.
You're gonna catch a warm hug. I'm sorry. I just totally went frozen with that, and yeah. So.
They basically tried to lobotomize him, but they didn't realize they were using a 9mm.
But man, freedom seeds though.
I know. Sometimes I just go overboard though.
Well, if you have a high enough grain count, then yeah, you're gonna have the exit wound. But I mean, what I would love to see like a high profile hit get performed, mafia style, and I'm not talking about like, Casino where they take him out to a cornfield out in the middle of nowhere
And beat him with the baseball bat?
beat him with a baseball bat and then just unceremoniously bury him with his dead brother. No.
I didn't think they were dead. If you read that movie,
Well, the
they were
brother
still
was
moving.
dead. Yeah, that's right. They were, but they just buried him
And they just
alive.
buried him
Yeah,
alive.
that's right. Why is it always Joe Pesci getting whacked in those movies, though? I mean, but to be fair, the way
Because
that
of
he
that
portrays those characters.
No, it's because in that time frame, Joe Pesci's character was always the asshole, and it wasn't until The Irishman to where he actually played the cool, calm mafia boss type.
Yeah, that's true. But
And the only reason why he played that role, it's one of those things. Is I love Joe Pesci.
Yeah, I do too.
Like 8 heads in a body bag.
Eight heads in a duffel bag.
Duffel bag, yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny.
But no, I mean, I want to see a Goodfellas style. Hey, you're getting made hit, and he walks in, sees that there's nothing but like bamboo, mats on the floor, and he's like, "Oh no!" With a 22 right behind the ear,
we can do that. We can recreate it.
For liability reasons, I'm going to officially on camera and on, being audio recorded here, I'm going to officially on record say that is a bad idea.
No, I'm not talking actually actual hit or anything like that, but we can actually film like a reenactment.
Oh, I see. Oh, you like
we're not really gonna do this.
Like those low budget recreations of movies. Yeah, where
instead
of having these like really cool vinyl, latex, carbon fiber costumes like Marvel Studios, it's all cardboard boxes and ski goggles, right? Is that what you're?
We're not doing cardboard boxes.
Look, man, I was trying to come up with with a comparison. Like a physical representation that our viewers and listeners.
I'm talking like unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, but who's going to do the Robert Stack? Nobody can do Robert Stack.
I'm not saying like we do the voice or anything like that. I mean, we could just do the Mike Rowe voice because you got the Mike Rowe voice.
Yeah, but I don't see Mike Rowe doing an episode of Unsolved Mysteries this week. Did he or did he?
Dude, he did QVC.
He did do QVC.
I mean, it's called a paycheck. And sometimes you do whatever you need for that paycheck. Even I have to get on that street corner every once in a while.
So what you're trying to say is that we've already established that we're whores, but now we're just haggling over price. Is that what you're trying to say?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as we're clear. Okay. But, yeah, I think we're pretty much done with this jackass.
Yeah.
The world needed somebody like him, but not for the reasons that you were thinking that he was needed. We needed to know to the depths of depravity that an individual was willing to go for because they were radicalized and didn't take the time or due diligence to educate themselves about the other points of view in the world. And, well, 9 times out of 10, whenever you do that on a national scale, you'll either end up in jail or catch a bullet in the head.
Yeah, because they'll eventually murky you.
Yeah, they will. So, what did we learn from this today, kids? Don't be a revolutionary or a guerrilla, and knowing is half the battle.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton.
All right, thank you for watching, guys.
Later.
Goodbye.